Great. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, as always, and thank you all for joining the August session of our Next Generation Speaker Series. We're really excited to have with us Anton Surawi here today, who I have gotten to know pretty well over the past few months, so it's really exciting to have him here and speaking on his expertise in childhood education and climate change and planetary health. So Anton, I will share your slides. If you could do a brief introduction, that would be really great, and then just go ahead and get started.
Okay, hello Kantal, hello everyone. Good morning, good night everywhere. My name is Anton Surawi, and I am a Master of Science in international teaching and global leadership from Johns Hopkins University. Uh, Today I will sharing my research or my best practice in climate change education through low carbon education to improve student system thinking skill. And this my study reflects both global concern and a very local classroom context in Indonesia. Next, please. Yeah, as we know that climate change is not a distant issue, it's already here in the world, in the global, in Indonesia, and the communities face drought, crop failure, floods, and health challenges. Sometimes people and parents ask, why has not the rain come in Indonesia, especially because we have the two season, like in the rain and dry season, and children are getting sick more often. These are the lived realities that student will grow up with. Next. In Indonesia also, we see clear evidence like in the Jatinangor or Sumedang was struck by a tornado. This is maybe like in the America, because in the United States, because we have a very little tornado in here. But recently we have the tornado, and the ice sheet in Papua is experiencing a tightening rate of up to 2.5 meter per year. Uh, Ice melt in the mountain of Papua that we know in the Himalaya mountain. They have been melt currently, and some crops are failure due to the prolonged drought season in Banda Aceh, and the crisis of clean water availability in 30 villages in Probolinggo in East Java, and landslide due to extreme rainfall in the Poncol, Magetan, East Java. This is uh, my subject of research, or this is the location of my research in the Poncol, and the flooding due to a bridge of in the dike at the Tanjung Emas Port Industrial Area Semarang. They have the increasing of sea level in every years, and also in Demak, near from the Tanjung Mas, they get increasing of the sea level in there. Next. Yeah, from this problem, uh, we can empower students to take action, whether it's planting trees, saving energy, reducing food waste, or simply using public transportation, students can learn that every small action that can contribute to reducing emission. We know that in Indonesia, the forestry also have the 50% lands conversion and the uh, pit, like we have many forests in Indonesia, tropical forests, and also 3% industrial process and production, 6% for the agriculture, 7% waste, and 34% energy and transportation. The, uh, from this data, they contribute to climate change in Indonesia. Next slide. This effort involves everyone to like for the student practicing climate action in and outside school, for the education, for the educator integrating climate topic into lessons, for school leaders building a support culture, families and communities for the reinforced habit, partnership between school and family and local government, that are all of case. Everyone can get involved in their own way. So this, from the small contribution or big contribution, we need to uh, step slow or step by step to get the health on our planet. Next slide. Um, I want to share the step, a simple step for educator maybe, because in my experience, educator and the communities, I mean the public, asked to me about why I concerned with the climate change education and what will I get from the climate change education, because they are still thinking about the myths in the climate change education. They not have confidence about how we can contribute to planetary health, to get sustainability to our life. So, first step is I start from the local context. That I said before that in my hometown village have the landslide, have the flood, have the rising sea levels. From this, I identify available of the resources. Like we have environment that have the agriculture in there. We have the multimedia. We have the um, social media for campaign and other resources from the parents of student that have resiliency for our action. And the third, we choose integration method. Climate change education is not subject. That is not subject, but they are is a topic that we can integrate in across curriculum or in the across subject. For example, we can integrate the climate change context in the mathematics with the data and the temperature rising and other things. And also, of course, we can integrate in the science education because the major in the climate change is about the environment, about the earth, about the atmosphere, and other things. In the co-curricular, also, we can integrate, like for the extracurricular, for Scout in Indonesia, for the community of love science, we can integrate in there. If we don't have the curriculum, we know in Indonesia, we have the curriculum about the climate change is released in the 20 and 24. So very, very new for me, for educator in Indonesia that have climate change. And as a educator, I always and still sharing my best practice to educator for a better implementation in their school to increasing of the climate change in their school. I mean, in the educators' other school. And the first step is uh, develop a learning plan from my best practice sharing. They can adopt into their school, into their curriculum, and implement for their students. Uh, in the five step, I build partnership. I identify the potential partnership with other parties. Like this morning, Kantal provide a connection, provide a collaboration with me, with educator from Indonesia to provide the best practice sharing for other to improve of others of the people about the climate change education. We know that climate change not only for health, not only for the environment, but also we can implement in for the better life for the student, for many people in this planet. So this keep learning relevant and practical. Next slide. This is my challenges in my school, especially in the elementary school of Alas to there are challenges in the learning. First is the limited use of the digital devices in learning and lack of independent study at home, inadequate inadequate parental guidance due to busy schedule and declining science performance in the first semester. The second of my problem or my challenges that I faced in my school is need for innovative learning. We have digital device are essential for modern education. Interactive teaching material are needed to engage students. Learning material must be accessible and support independent study. And learning model requires like a stimulate student and problem solving. Also inquiry-based learning and science literacy for a teacher, for a educator to provide the climate change education. The solution that we have need for innovate, innovating learning models like STEM that engage students in the project-based learning and critical thinking. Next slide. Yeah, this is the framework that Indonesia use. Um, Actually, this framework from the climate change education, Radhika Iyengar and Kashishu, that we have the four competencies in this framework. First, about the impact. Climate change affect natural condition locally and globally with social and ecological justice implication both directly and indirectly in the short and the long term. And the second is causes, the mean of the human activities drive a global warming by increasing greenhouse gases through production, distribution, and consumption. In Indonesia, for example, the primary contributors are the non-renewable energy sector and the land forest degradation. And the third is about the adaptation like for technology and the nature-based strategies enhance resiliency to climate change. Adaptation varies by uh, region like urban, agrarian, and coastal, and key aspects like economy, social, livelihood, and ecosystem. And the mitigation, this is for the reducing like uh, GHG emission across a sector, agricultural and forestry, energy transportation, waste and industry that helps slow climate change and its effect. Uh, we have uh, two gradation. Impact and causes is first step we can do in the elementary school maybe, and the mitigation and adaptation we can implement in the high level degree like for a junior high school, primary school, and senior high school. Because from this, we can build of the resiliency for students to adapt to face the climate change education. Next slide. Yeah, in Indonesia, we see good practices for my friend, like sand project, coral bleaching survey. This is for from Cahaya Anak Papua School and P5. P5 that's mean if is the activity co-curricular and extracurricular for the gardening at school for food security like for um, uh, hydro water based plant and uh, gardening in their school. We can implement of the co-curricular in their to greening of school. And the last is the student real action to innovate in flood early warning system. This is from the Informatica Depot Vocational School. Next slide. Yeah, I will share my research that we have objective. My primary goal is develop and validate a low carbon education. This is the learning design that aimed at improving elementary student system thinking skill. And for the specific, I want to improve uh, system thinking skill related to SDG challenge, focus on PGPL and STEM approach, and develop interactive home-based teaching material for the independent learning. Next slide. This is my research methodology. I use the simple design for the model, define, design, develop, and disseminate. And my subject is fifth grade student from Alas Tua to Indonesia Elementary School. My instrument that I used observation sheet, question to system thinking, questionnaire to collect feedback about my learnings and about our learning, and field notes to capture qualitative observation, student behavior, and their improve from the awareness in the climate change education. And the data analyze, I use the percentage for calculation and trend. Qualitative data, I use the analyze descriptive from interview and field notes. Next slide. My step for 4D, I start from uh, I start from defined state. I conducting comprehensive analysis and assessment and design. I creating learning activities. I create a lesson plan, or for the development states I revising material from feedback from the expert that know about the climate change, the expert in the learning and the STEM project-based learning. And I disseminate stage to testing learning device with research participant, validity assessment, and the practical assessment for efficiency and engagement of the design of my design learning. Next slide. The defined states I analysis. I saw the curriculum evaluation, like focus on cognitive, affective, and schemotor domain. My goal is nurture students' awareness of environment issues and sustainable practice. And I observe in the need assessment, like education authorities encourage integrating STEM and ESD in science curricula, and in school aim to develop student critical thinking, creative, and problem-solving abilities. I show the curriculum, I show the character, my student, I observe my environment of my school, what we can use in the classroom, what we can deliver in lesson plan until the implementation of low carbon education in the climate change of education. Next slide. Yep, and analysis standard content in project-based lesson. I found that I do studies literature about the media development learning. I do studies literature about the learning and assessment, especially from the literacy science, analyzing competency literacy science, including identify the problems, explaining of the phenomena scientifically, and using scientific proof of the concept of interaction between creature life and its environment, and formulation indicator and objective are learned through reviewing content, not only content but also context and also competency. Next slide. In the design state, I creating make interactive teaching material, conducting a trial grain question from the thinking system and repair question thinking system, and determine the class that will be included in the subject research. Next slide. In the design stage, I develop interactive learning material, include activities, sheets, and a structured extracurricular plan focused on the climate change. Why I choose the extracurricular, not in the curricular or co-curricular? Because in Indonesia, we have a new curriculum in climate change, and people, I mean, if my friend or my colleagues, little bit should be uh, uh, understanding to climate change um, curriculum. So I use extracurricular that flexible use, not depend on the national curriculum or rules in the our curriculum. So extracurricular is the flexibility for implementing of climate change. For the first step, if we if we didn't have a core curriculum plan for the climate change education. Next slide. And this the sample of system thinking question. Level of thinking for the level first level is the no causality. Second level is simply one way to relationship. And the next is the multiple step causality, feedback loops, and dynamic system. Uh, for example, uh, in the question of the no causality, plants drink water because they are thirsty. This is the step or scaffolding to student for thinking why plant need of the water, and the sample thinking question like where does the water come from, what happened when the water source changes, and others. And I use the rubric for assessment because this is the open-ended question, so I need the rubric for step by step to assessment of their answer. Next slide. In the development stage, I got a review from expert. They give the feedback to help improve my clarity and structure of the learning material. And the revision, the key of revision is a clear indicator from problem identification, more detailed instruction, and add technology tool like Canva, CapCut to media creation. Next slide. This is the implementation and evaluation step. That teacher feedback, teacher found the learning design practical and engaging through the student needed more guided during independent work. And uh, we track student engagement and the effective of the learning material. The challenges that I faced is the limited digital resources, and the solution to encourage students to use online resources and communicate with social media for support and teacher feedback. Teacher for the learning design and need more the guidance. Next slide. Yeah, this is the initial activity. Students watch a video from NASA about climate change. They take note on the important things, also write down difficult words to us. Difficult word to us because in the climate change, because in the um, science also uh, a little difficult about the a term or the word that a student face. And this is the according with book from the mayor, like compare learning performance and think aloud during a task involving conducting and online short and reading and uneasy what they learn from the video or from the simulation. I use pet simulation uh, for stimulate of the global warming of the increasing of the temperature in their room. Next slide. And apart and these activities stimulation learning can be effective if students are given appropriate guidance. So I use the prompt in this activities support support for simulation and the virtual laboratory based learning can provide better result than direct instruction or the uh, I speak in there in front of my student. Next slide. In defined worksheet result, student worksheet in the first activity, research and imagine, it can be seen that they use the numerical value in the pet app to determine the greenhouse effect. And the next slide, please. Then to create system thinking in the form of imagination and broad mind and cause and effect, students in group go outside the classroom to visit the surrounding environment to see agriculture and read the cause and effect about the impact of the agriculture on carbon gas according to the worksheet and the previous observation. So they rate on their worksheet. Next slide. This is the result from their observation. Um, I think this is the problem-based learning, which is in accordance, expert opinion, that we have prompt in here to student what they observe in my environment, in our environment. Next slide. There are a lot of detailed question and prompts for children because clues or prompts that merely remind this learner of applying metacognitive skill also during task performance uh, and yes, the effect in metacognition to system thinking skill. Next slide, please. Moreover, these are elementary school. I will emphasize this is elementary school. Children who are not so good at metacognition or self-regulation. So we help with the prompt in and close. Next slide. In this slide, student activities show that um, they provide of what the effect and what the reason from the activity. Next slide, please. This is the continue of what they will do for making video about what they learn. Next slide. It is their metacognition product to campaign to make a video about the danger of carbon, including global warming and the greenhouse effect. So, from observation, from their essay about the cause and effect, they make a video about the greenhouse, about the global warming, about the water use and greenhouse gas effect experiment. From this video, next slide, please. Yeah. Um, can you play this? Sorry. Yeah. This mean in the video, they my student share about the greenhouse effect that uh, they implement of they of do or implement a little experiment and uh, and the show of what student get from their experiment to show to proving of the greenhouse effect with the simple equipment, and these activities uh, can be do in their home, and they are rate of the result in the last of the video. The next slide, please. This is of sample of result that from worksheet the student create. This the test on the data and data and uncertainty. It can be seen that they use bar chart, line chart to represent the result of the experiment on time. Next slide, please. And the next step, they can communicate or presentation in their classroom on what that they have done, and sharing about the climate change, climate change, like carbon, like water use, and yes, their friend enthusiasm from this. Next slide, please. This is the result of our communication. So my student not only of speaking in their friend, but also they rate what feedback from their friend, from their teacher, to improving the video, to improving their experiment, to improving their character, to building their character in the video. Next slide, please. And this is also what the student will do. I mean, it's the redesign of their uh, thinking, of their um, action in the next step. So I will building of the so I was built of the system thinking from our activities. First step is the observation, and the second, what should student do from their proof in the observation, experiment, share video or communicate, and then redesign what should we do. This is make of student uh, system thinking improve, and also they can learn about the climate change education that integrate in the curriculum. Next slide, please. The result is most students were classified in the lower level for the system thinking skills. So I need more improve again to uh, their system thinking. And the key insight is student system thinking ability were underdeveloped with limited connection between the concept. Um, so confidence in understanding were rate slightly lower, and I need time. I need activity other activities to improve it again. Next slide, please. From chart report from the student in the LCE or low carbon education, um, a significant number of students found the learning experience new and engaging. They motivate and they can interactive with nature and overall saw a positive response. Next slide, please. For the student feedback, the majority students agree that the design encouraged them to learn new things, motivate, and perform tasks effectively, and LCE learning, curiosity and desire to learn. Students enjoying the interactive hands-ons and fostered a sense of engagement of purpose. Next slide. Yeah, I can share with you the process of enhancing system thinking skill with low carbon education and climate change education. First, they implement STEM design, and I use the worksheet effectively. Achieve learning indicator like a mid-targeted learning indicator and competency that I share apply in the extracurricular. I choose the flexibility, climate change education, improve system thinking, and positive student response. The next slide. And my key finding is the low carbon education learning design based on STEM approach and engineering design process was successfully implemented, and the design was valid and practical, but student system thinking skill remained low. And I should improving again. And the recommendation for future research should focus on strengthening student system thinking abilities. Incorporating diverse approach like concept mapping and discovery learning can improve student performance. Next slide. Yes, thank you so much. This is my profile bio, make barcode, so we can connect after this. We can sharing. I believe from this event, I can talk. I can discuss about the climate change education with others. Not only for the low carbon education, but maybe for the greenhouse, maybe for the green economic blue economy or other thing that we can discuss about the climate change, especially in the education. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anton. This is a fantastic presentation. There have been some messages going in the program chat during this, and we've also seen a couple of comments in the Zoom chat as well. That would be great if you could respond to either of these. One
Mhm.
is from Abdullah, who is a campus ambassador, and he says, in many countries like Iraq, I can say that integrating planetary health education in school level is more difficult than in tertiary education because many teachers still focus on their classes only and have no time to develop skills in such emerging scope, and they are still not officially obliged to teach this class or curate activities. This is why I see that the first step should be with the activists' collaboration with the schools to teach students and training the teachers especially those who teach science and geography classes.
Yeah, thank you. That is a very important point, and I agree. And agree with this that in many countries, including Indonesia, including Iraq, teachers at the school level often face constraints of time, and the curriculum load, and the lack of formal obligation to integrate new topics such as the climate change education, planetary health. That why collaboration with others like with the NGO or universities can be good first step. At the same time, my research also shows that small-scale intervention like integrating LCE into exciting science or extracurricular lesson can already make a difference without adding a spirit subject like social or other thing. So perhaps the best way forward is a combination external support from activists from other from NGO to build capacity while also equipping teacher with practical tools in their classroom they can use in their current classes. So overall is yeah, I agree with this. And yeah, we can integrate a small step in the science subject first because in the science subject we learn about the environment, about the earth, so we can first step in the science subject, and others in the next time we can integrate in the extracurricular. Extracurricular answer from question that limit time constraint and student can do the or can learn about the climate change in their home, in their activity, but we should provide a prompt or a clue or worksheet for activities. That's all.
Great. Thank you for elaborating on that. And then Kusipa, who's also a campus ambassador, also said, this is brilliant. The challenge in my country would be translating material into local language because government primary school pupils are taught in local language. Have you had that issue? Have you tried to expand to other regions in Indonesia and encountered translation issues?
Yeah, I think, yeah, this is a brilliant point also. Thank you for raising it. Language is indeed a key factor in the making uh, climate change, in the planetary health, or low carbon education accessible to younger students. In my context as well, many students learn in the local language. So adapting material and using cultural relevant example is essential. And I believe collaboration with the local teacher, with the local teacher and the communities is the best way to ensure that the content is not only translated but also meaningfully in their every life. So I suggest for you and other people to collaboration with the local teacher. I in my research that I show you, I not as a teacher, but I as observer. So I collaborate with the teacher in my school, other teacher in my school, and uh, they are that give of treatment to our student, and we collaborating like a lesson study. I as observer and they as a teacher that give the treatment for the improving of low carbon education, climate change education, planetary health in my student. And actually, we can collaborate with other uh, other people like from the government or uh, from the public public center in Indonesia. Is the name is Puskesmas, or from social professional, that mean in pendamping in Indonesia. We can collaborate with them to uh, best practice sharing or improving their skill in there. That's all.
Thank you. Awesome. And then I think we have time for one more really quick question or comment. If anyone has any, please feel free to drop it in the chat or unmute to say something. And as always, this session is recorded and will be shared to the campus ambassadors via email and as well as posted on the Planetary Health Alliance YouTube channel. So, Anton, I will share that link with you as well to share with your network.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Yeah. Thanks, Orla. Thanks, Manny, for the comments. If no one else has anything at this point, um, that's great. We've come up to the end of the hour pretty much, so we can go ahead and close for today's session. And again, this will be shared, so feel free to reach out to Anton if you have any questions or would like to follow up on any of these practices. But thank you again, Anton. Thank you all for joining and have a great rest of your day.
Yes, thank you so much.